Hi everybody and welcome to week 18. Oh my goodness, the weeks are flying by, seriously. So I feel like I just recorded last week's video and now here we are, another week. So last week I had my monthly doctor's appointment with my OB and we'll start with my weight. So I was weighing in at 64.5 kg, which I think is what I said my weight was last week. And my doctor basically was like, okay, you can start putting on weight now, which honestly, I have never heard that because when I was pregnant with Esme, all I did was put on weight. So this is totally new ground to me. The baby is measuring completely normal sized. It's just that I'm not putting on a lot of weight. I think in total now, since the beginning of my pregnancy, I've only put on 2 kg, which is roughly like 5 pounds. To be perfectly honest, I'm okay with this weight because I know that ideally it would be nice to put on about 25 pounds. And if I'm almost halfway through my pregnancy and I've only put on 5, I'm like, okay, that gives me like that remainder of my pregnancy where I really feel like I start to pack on the poundage. So it's kind of interesting because it just shows how different 2 pregnancies can be so far. And I'm curious to see if this is going to mean that maybe I won't put on 60 pounds like I did last time. I mean, if it happens, it happens. What are you gonna do about it? But it would be really nice to not put on that much weight because it just means that it'll be that much easier to lose the baby weight postpartum. I'm pretty like low-key about losing the weight. Like I'm very patient with myself to a certain degree, but of course I am like a normal woman, and like a normal woman, you kind of want to get your figure back at some point. And a year is like a long time, you know? So anyways, that's the weight situation. So I thought it was kind of funny that he actually told me to put on weight. I was like, this is like music to my ears. Anyway, as I was saying, the baby is measuring perfectly fine and healthy, so no concerns there. The baby is the size of a mango this week. That's kind of big, so interesting. I can definitely feel the baby is getting bigger when I'm lounging about on the sofa or just like cuddling in bed with Esme or something. Like I can feel the weight of the baby in my belly, which sounds kind of strange, but it's like before it's like you're pregnant but you can't really tell. And now it's like I can feel the weight of the baby, especially if I'm laying on my back. It's like I can feel the pressure, so that's really cool. So fun fact this week is that the baby's body is now coated in vernix, and that is basically like a sticky, icky substance, but it's really good, and it coats their body to protect their skin from amniotic fluid from now for the remainder of the pregnancy. And a lot of times babies are born with this little white coating, so if in case you were curious, that's what it is. Baby has also had a growth spurt, hence the size of the mango story. I definitely feel that my belly is starting to grow. By that said, I am by no means big. I mean, everybody that meets me is like, really? How pregnant are you? I find I really have to wear like a fitted shirt in order for it to actually show that I'm pregnant. So I'm not complaining. I mean, I'm really curious to see how this pregnancy is going to go and what I look like, you know, in my last few weeks. I'm sure I'll be giant. Symptoms this week, I am feeling a little tired. I'm feeling a little bit sluggish. I find that I'm having a lot of sofa time. And I mean, there's a part of me that feels really guilty about that, like, hello, mom guilt. And I'm looking at Esme and I'm like, oh kid, I promise I will not be this low on energy for the remainder of your life, you know? But for the time being, she is kind of, she's getting like 1 big activity a day, and if she's not, I'm trying not to beat myself up about it. It's really hard. Anyone that's been pregnant with a toddler probably knows where I'm coming from, but it's just, you feel super guilty if you don't do an activity with your child at least once a day, like to get their energy out. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling this week. Starting to feel teeny tiny baby movements. Originally, like a few weeks back, I think I had said I was feeling like bubbles and stuff. So I don't feel the bubbles so much as like now it's like a proper movement. Like I felt a little bit of a flip the other night. Kind of gives you that reassurance that everything's going well, even though I'm confident that it's going well. It's just like that little reminder. Kind of a random one, but I'm finding that in the evenings, I'm kind of hungry for dinner, but nothing seems appealing, which is really weird because for lunch, I mean, I'm ravenous. I could eat anything. And I do. I eat lots of things in the day, but it's like I get really hungry around, let's say like 4 o'clock. So I'll have a little snack. And then by 5:30, which is generally when we have dinner, obviously I'm not terribly hungry anymore. And then I feel like I leave it a bit too long. And then I get hungry. And you know that point where you're already hungry, but you haven't made anything? It's like it's too late almost. So I've kind of been feeling like that, and so I've been having these like progressive meals in the evenings, like soup and then a bowl of cereal and then toast and then fruit. So it's weird. I'm not used to this, and things I find are like making me nauseous. Like my husband made this beautiful roast the other night, and honestly the smell of it, I was like, oh, I just couldn't. I just, even thinking about it now, which is awful because it's like this beautiful meal and him and Esme were like enjoying it and I'm sitting there eating cereal. So a little bit weird, but just rolling with it. Haven't had too many cravings this week. I feel like my cravings have somewhat subsided, which is probably a good thing, but there are some things that I'm just like going to if I'm feeling hungry or something. Like I've been doing a lot of decaf tea, which I wasn't doing a lot in the beginning of my pregnancy, so there's something about the warmth of the tea that I'm just loving. I have a tea in the morning and then generally one again in the afternoon. I've also been loving tart cherry juice. Genevieve from Mama Natural mentioned this in one of her pregnancy updates about how her son was drinking a lot of tart cherry juice and was sleeping a lot. And I thought, oh good God, I gotta go get some of this. So I went out and got some, and Esme's been loving it. I don't know that it's been affecting her sleep. Like she doesn't drink that much of it, so I'm not really sure. But I've really just been enjoying the taste, and I'm not a big juice drinker, so I'll just have like a small little glass, like a little glass. And yeah, loving it. So that's interesting. Also been loving good old standby Nutella and toast. Absolutely delicious. So if I'm feeling like having a snack, I'll generally like get the toast and the Nutella and the decaf tea going, and that's like happy time. And then of course for cereal, nothing too exciting. I am off the sugary cereal. First of all, I can't find any that I like right now in the grocery store, but I've definitely been doing bran flakes. Gotta get a little fiber in my life, so I like bran flakes. I don't feel guilty eating it. I know it's good for me. So yeah, that's something I've been doing. Alright, so for the peak of my week, I told you guys last week that I was hoping to find out the gender of this little baby. And so when I went to my appointment, we did the scan, and the baby was not in an ideal position. Legs were like, you know, in the fetal position, of course, like I can't do it, but covering the baby bits. And the doctor was kind of like prodding me to see if we could get the baby to turn. We kind of did, and we think we saw what the gender is, but I must admit I would feel much better having one more scan. So what I'm going to do is, I know I don't mean to hold out because I know you guys are as excited as me to find out, but to be honest, I'm like on the fence about what the doctor told me. So basically I have an appointment next month, so October 17th. It's not that far away, and the plan is to have another scan, and hopefully then I'll be able to confirm what the gender is, and I'll be the first to share it with you guys. So I appreciate you guys holding out, not making you wait to the end of this pregnancy, so one more month. So here is my week 18 belly. Definitely starting to grow, not too big of a change from last week. Been using coconut oil on my belly in the evenings to hopefully prevent any stretch marks. That's it for week 18. Thank you so much for watching. For all my loyal subscribers, I appreciate you and all of your comments, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And that's that, so I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys!